Hi Deb, what are the biggest challenges in establishing design and build in Europe like it is in the US?
You know, I think probably some of the challenges that we've had in the US are very easily translatable to what you're confronting here. And that's about really looking at advocacy so your public agencies start to understand design build and provide mechanisms by which you can have the procurement process respond to design build. I think the other part is just simple education of the team members. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we've had the benefit of many years, almost 3 decades now of design build delivery in the US. And we've done a lot of learning in that time frame. And so you're trying to catch up, and my hope is that you can actually leapfrog and learn and benefit from some of the challenges that we've seen with design build delivery, and particularly in tending to the education of the owner to understand it is not about just shifting risk. It really is about the opportunity to bring your experts forward early and innovate creatively to really solve some of the great challenges of some of the more complex building profiles. So whether you're talking about infrastructure and horizontal builds like highways and roads and water, or whether we're talking about vertical, both on the public and the private sector, I think it's really important that we get that level of education understood, and that all parties that contribute to that, the owner, the contractor, or the builder, and then the architect and engineer as part of that.
In the US, is the public or the private sector leading in design and build?
I think right now it's probably more in the public sector, because of the legislation that's been passed. So we've seen strong growth on the West Coast, so up and down California all the way into Washington, a lot in the South Central. So Texas has always been very fortified with open legislation, and then now we're starting to see a lot of growth because of recent legislation conversions in the Southeast. So we're seeing quite a bit of growth there. So really, it's coming off the heels of the state's understanding and opening up the door for design build delivery to be a procurement process that can be utilized.
And in the public sector, do you think that design and build can be part of the new Biden administration's infrastructure plan?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's going to have to be, because a lot of them have an urgency from a time delivery and need a cost certainty. And so being able to control costs, manage the risks, and manage the schedule proactively to get some of these infrastructure projects that he's got on the agenda done and complete, we're very much going to see design build as part of that. And that's part of the reason why I think we're going to see the strong growth. I think out of the 7.9 trillion in construction in place, we're seeing a forecast of about 1.7 trillion of that actually to be in a design build delivery method, so significant.
And last question, in your opinion, where is design and build in the US in 5 years?
I think it's going to become more dominant in its delivery model, because right now, while we're not alternative, we're still not the dominant delivery model. We still see a lot of CM at risk and CM. And I think when we start to look 5 years out, maybe I'm hopeful, but I am optimistic that design build is going to continue to see penetration there. And when we start to see the growth and conversion on success stories, I think that starts to fuel more growth and more adoption that we're going to start to see opening up.
Okay, thank you, Deb.
Thank you.